The weather's really hot today. It's May 2019. People are sending me some phenomenal videos of strange places on Earth, like one place in Minnesota where water falls inside a rock and they think it disappears into another dimension because they put dye in the rock and they can't trace it. And there are other places, like a place in Russia where the trees are destroyed and they think maybe years ago they did witchcraft there and the trees danced and things like that. They really don't have any relevance with modern times. It was years ago. And there were other things, like one of the things that really interests me was there's a place I've never heard of, far away, where the ground will draw flying objects down. It's like a strong magnetic pull under the earth. Now, something must be wrong with me because from a very young age, I've always wanted to know the unknown, mysterious things. I've always been drawn to things that were magical, that were outerworldly, supernatural, something that was not so realistic. And I suppose it's because I had a mind in like another dimension, very overactive imagination, and it wasn't until some evil people with Illuminati saw I had a special power they called magic that I started to fear places my mind would go. When before I was free with God and I felt like the universe was limitless and I could fly anywhere and land on any star. I used to write poetry before I went to the conference about, the cusp of antiquity and dancing on the moon and different things. And all the things I used to write, they've used, and they've harnessed my mind, which I never thought could be possible. They've captured me. They've destroyed my youth, my energy. They're draining my soul through some kind of vampirism. They've made me sick, and they've made my outlook very dark. And no matter what, it's like I can come into this world very connected to divine power of light and goodness and God and depth. And I can still remember as a baby, my first memories. I was very small, probably not 4 years old, and someone was at the door trying to get in, and they were intoxicated, and I was crying my eyes out. I can still remember, because I couldn't understand why they wouldn't open the door. And they were saying, be quiet, because we don't want this person in here. They're intoxicated, and they'll go away and go to bed, and they'll be okay. And I was bawling hysterically, thinking, oh my God, they're going to be sent away in the night. They'll have a broken heart. Nobody will help them. And that was my nature. And I can remember having this one uncle I just liked so much. I just loved him. And I would just want to sit on his lap and pat him and stuff. And I was told, oh, you can't do that because you're young and he's a man and you can't do that. So that was just my open heart as young as I can remember. I can't understand how I can go from being an innocent child that loves every human being, wants to hug them and dote over them. And to me, when I'd wake up and they were there, that was my magical world. Just love and just someone to care about and pick flowers and make those little bracelets like children do and hold hands and sing in a circle like in kindergarten. To me, that was the whole world, and that was all I wanted, and I was happy and emotional, and every day was exciting and magical and vivid. As long as I was learning new things, exploring, and using my imagination to grow and learn and making other people happy, I thought life was heaven on earth. I can't understand how I can meet a group that was once innocent and childlike and unprotected, that has totally got into witchcraft and evil, and now the devil's drawn to me. Where does that come into play? As a little child, when I was so innocent, where was the devil? I'm starting to question, has he always been drawn to me? Well, why now is he trying to get to me? Why now is he wanting to possess me when I've been here for 50-something years? It baffles me. It makes me cry now when I see evil. I see evil people killing each other. I say, where's their heart? Where's their childlike love? How can they go from innocence and childlike and vulnerable and needy and caring to destructive monsters that want to eat each other? There's the God. God's there. What changes in our being that makes us go from one state to where temptation destroys man, and greed and evil? I mean, nobody flips a switch. The devil has always been there. Is it because man falls from grace? Is it because man is so weak that he lets himself fall and then he wants to contaminate other people like a plague? Some of the places you will see where the devil has done the most damage, you will see one of the highest mortality rates. Some places where you see the most death, you'll see as if it's left a sickness on the land, a disease or something. Places to where people seem to have an illness associated with the beast, say rabies. You will see that the land never quite completely heals or grows, and people never prosper for very long. It's like darkness plagues the land. You will find the beast in places where there's the most suffering. You will find the beast in places where there's the most disease. It just seems to be that way. But people have made evil strong. And if you could just go back to those childlike years and you could listen to children and follow your heart, protect the children, we'd improve. The world would change. And that is my opinion. Now people now tell me, be a queen, join us. I'm like, no. There's one thing that separates me from evil. I have a heart. And I don't care what the devil offers me. I don't care what kind of kingdom. I have a heart. And I have enough empathy and compassion that I can sympathize with the devil, but then I can see his vulnerability and loneliness, and I can see his desire. But my best friend told me, who was a nun, she said, Sherry, your downfall will be if you feel sorry for a man. And if she told me don't feel sorry for men, which I have a tendency to do, of course she'd say, don't feel sorry for the devil. You know, I feel sorry for everyone. That's my freaking downfall. And believe me, it's hurt me. It always has. It's always hurt me. My mom said I was always too naive, too impressionable, too loving and trusting. And even though this group has made me very angry, and I feel dark, and I feel tarnished, and everything, I still care. And till I go to my grave, I can't stop caring. And so it seems like this group wants to take away every good attribute about myself. Anything that has innocence, or anything that desires love, that's giving. And they're the ones that are wrong. They have to look in the mirror. They have to go back to their past. They have to see who they once were. And that's our only hope for salvation. And saving people and getting closer to God and changing the world and being with God in the hereafter for our own salvation and strength. And, you know, for all salvation and immortality, you're going to have to go back into your heart and go back to your past. And there you'll find God, there you'll find yourself, and there you'll find your soul. And I'm lost, I'm doomed, I'm sick, I'm dying, I'm tired of fighting, you know. And, you know, I keep crying to God and I get answers, but then this group attacks me and repetition brings me down. I mean, Satan brings down God's armies and God's angels, because our hearts are human, our souls are pure. But this domineering force that is attacking me is overshadowing all good. As he's bringing me down through power, through satellites, through weapons, and he's got his armies. They're attacking me every day.